So the first step here is getting the head, the thorax, and the pelvis in a nice straight line. Once you have that, you're going to rotate the pelvis slightly towards that front leg. So you're loading that front leg. So in this case, the right leg. From here, the goal is to go straight up and down while that right knee goes forward. We want to avoid bending forward and loading more of the hip. That's not necessarily wrong. It's just a different exercise at that point. So we want to keep the pelvis underneath you while that right knee, in this example, is driving forward. You also want to avoid locking the knee out at the top. So at no point in time am I completely locking that knee out. I always have a little bit of bend in both legs. That's going to help you to keep that leg loaded on the front side here. Figuring out the distance can be a little bit tricky. So you have to just kind of start somewhere. In most cases, you'll see that it's more difficult to keep the heel down when the legs are closer together. So I just move that ramp back a little bit, and you'll see I'm having a little bit more trouble keeping that heel down on the front leg. That may be fine for you. You may tolerate that just fine. That's going to give you a little bit more of an external moment arm at the knee, which is going to make the quad work harder, but you may also find that you have some discomfort in the knee when you do that. So if that's the case, you'll probably want to kick that ramp out a little bit further, and that's going to make it easier to keep the heel down on that front leg. On the back leg, the heel can come off the wall. That's totally fine, but for most people, are going to want to keep that heel in contact with the ramp on the front leg the whole way. If we look from the front just to see the distance between legs, should be pretty close together. You don't want to be so far out that you end up turning your pelvis to get into a weird position. You keep everything as in line as possible, but again, that's a little bit of a personal preference thing and has to do with the shape of your hips and your body.